Hey,
Hey,
how's it going?
good man. I was just watching one of your time lapses right now.
The most recent one? No.
Yeah.
Thanks, dude. Those are fun. Uh,
Yeah?
they are, and that's also on the agenda. I have a pretty good agenda too.
Cool, man. I will give you a heads up. My stream quality with you and interviews, and even I've been doing these podcasts with people
Hmm.
interviewing. It's like horrible for some reason. So I talked to Comcast and I tweaked it. So hopefully I figured out the issue. If you have any issues, let me know. I'm not.
Okay.
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 You know how it is on your end. I'm trying to I want to get this right because I do a lot of live streaming now.
Which is cool. Funny
Oh, I
enough,
love it. I love it.
you cut out right when you
You gotta
started.
be shitting me.
So I just to let you know.
All right. Well, let me know if it happens again. All right.
Okay, for sure.
We haven't talked in a long time, man.
It has been a little while, yeah. But it's still good, like I
Mhm.
still feel like I feel like I've been doing well and things have been progressing artistically. And I do think it's healthier, for the slow uh leaving the nest kind of thing. So it's not like
Yeah.
every yeah.
Yeah.
Uh but I have did you is there anything you wanted to present?
There's a couple things that I would like to chit chat about.
Yeah.
But if you're ready to go, man,
Well,
I'm ready.
like I said, I have a wonderful list of things. So if you want to go first,
Oh boy.
uh
Um. Well, first off, I just want to say hi.
hell, yeah, I'm so sorry. Not just business. I'm sorry. How have you been?
Dude, I've been phenomenal, man. I'm really happy
Good.
I'm good, man. Like an
Right?
artist, I feel good artistically for the most part.
Mhm.
Creatively, I feel phenomenal. Yeah, I don't know. Things are good for the art of Justin Prime right now.
That's good. That's good. I feel like you're not in like a project grinding, depleting mode, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah, you do seem in a good spot. I think your art's been reflecting that. Like you're having a lot more fun and the feedback and the
yeah.
talking to people. That's actually in my notes too. I was gonna say the podcast. I was gonna ask how the podcasts have been going too. Is it like more lethargic too, enjoyable?
Lethargic? Is that what you
Like
said?
no, yeah, not lethargic, but like relaxing.
For me?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a mix because I have There's a few things that I do on the podcast. One of them I have the JP reads on there, so that's just
Right.
fun.
Right.
The other one is I do the artist inventory
Yeah,
challenge.
that's really good too.
Have you listened to it at all?
I have not listened to the artist
This
inventory.
motherfucker. You haven't listened to your mentor's podcast.
But the format is golden. I'll definitely put it on in the days to come. But the,
You
the
should.
format.
You should not just because I mean I'm not just hyping it up, but like I think you'll benefit from it. The whole part
Mhm.
of the whole focus is for the AIC, the Artist Inventory Challenge, is to take stock of where you are
Mhm.
and what's holding you back and what's going well.
Mhm.
So I've done that like 4 times with people, and it's fun. So there's that. There's the JP reads, and then my interviews from YouTube. I've uploaded those audio only. And the last thing right now, there's actually two more things. Um, and then I do my own thing. It's called JPrime Cast, where
Mhm.
basically I do the artist inventory challenge for myself,
Mhm.
and I just kind of reflect on my projects, progress I've made, and it's cool. Like it's relaxed, but it helps me maintain focus and keep myself accountable.
Mhm.
So each week, like tomorrow night, I'm gonna do it again and record it, and I really have to look at the past week and be like, all right, what did I do and not do? And
Mhm.
it's like it's really helpful. I've only done it a couple weeks, but I really like it. I'm loving it. And then the last thing I do in the podcast so far is I just started this on Friday. It's called JP answers questions in 2 minutes in his car. So because it's so easy to record with Anchor that I can hands free record and I keep myself to 2 minutes, so have to hurry up and answer it. But
Mhm.
I'll respond to like a DM that I got or whatever. Um, so those are my different segments, and I keep them rather than having like one weekly podcast where it's all jumbled up.
Mhm.
I keep them separate so people know where they can go to and they know what to expect and whatnot.
That's really cool. But content, I mean, that's you're blowing up
A
on
lot.
content.
I'm dude. I'm yeah. I am, and I'm figuring out how to maximize my time. Really,
Good.
and,
Good.
like really maximize. Like now, I'm using my breaks at work are all drawing time,
Mm-hmm.
which they pretty much have been, but now I'm focused more on fundamentals. That's my fundamental time, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna drop lunchtime request, and then unfortunately, but I have to. And
Yeah.
then even driving between my work sites, my locations. So
Mm-hmm.
even driving now is potentially podcast time.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. Because that's
You
what
know,
I think Gary Vee had
I'm
mentioned too, like
maximizing.
with the
Huh.
Anchor app. He was just saying like, Anchor is easy, and he had mentioned that on one of his
Yeah, it really is. It's a great app. You should download it because it's like I've never ever listened to podcasts,
Mm-hmm.
but all of a sudden I was interested in doing my own from seeing somebody else do it,
Right.
and so now I've been listening to people's podcasts and kind of seeing how they do it and studying, and it's my way of studying, I guess, researching.
No, well, that's the thing too.
Uh,
It's like I'm not again like we've discussed the whole school facet, but I think podcasts are really interesting because people have information and they're putting it out there too. So like you're saying, like
yeah.
why not pick up on it and learn and dip into it?
Well, it's
Especially, sorry, you're saying.
yeah. Well, it's I'm learning what they're doing well
Mm-hmm.
and how I can incorporate that because I've never listened to podcasts before, like ever.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm brand new to it, which is kind of good because I don't have a mold in my head.
Right.
But what's really cool is I always have ideas for content, but it's like I'm in my car or I don't know, something's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I always assume it's going to be on YouTube, which is more video based.
Mm-hmm.
So I never quite get around to it. But with this, I can do a podcast right away
Yep.
and just audio. And for me to maximize time, it's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm loving it. I really recommend you download it and just kind of not saying start your own or whatever, but like to listen to people.
Right.
It's just fun, dude. I like it.
And especially in the car too, like somebody else is saying too, that's the time you spend commuting is hours on hours.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
why not
right,
use it to
right.
learn, whatever. That's
Yeah.
really cool, man. That's dope.
It actually would be good for you with the whole journaling thing that you.
Maybe because like I'm finding with the
Yeah.
Instagram is kind of like a good outlet, and same thing with my computer, especially the last week or two. It's been a hassle to set up and focus on, but yeah, just some creative outlet to keep posted. I think verbally it's a lot easier for me just to talk about what's going on instead of
Yeah.
typing.
I think I've always told you that I feel like your charisma, you don't use that as a strength enough. I see you doing it now, which is kind of cool.
Thank you, thank you.
But I think video and audio for you is a natural fit. But I
No,
mean,
yeah,
you got enough on your plate, and just in the future, I'm saying.
I think you're right too. Well, the stories and the Instagram stories, at least, and I think I'm just focusing on Instagram specific. But the stories are very helpful. Like the one I did yesterday, but I wanted to do a few more today.
Yeah,
But I was able to do the drawing. But I figured if I'm either doing a story or drawing, but putting up something where I'm in it, and then eventually doing both. Um, but so speaking of Vero, what happened with that? This is just like a question.
what do you
Vero,
mean? What happened with it? What do you mean?
did it like uninstall or shut down already or something, or is it still?
No, it's still going. Everyone ran over there, so they couldn't handle the demand. But it's already
Oh,
it's running okay now.
okay. I thought it had crashed and like, oh, never mind.
Man, I'm pissed off at you. I'm looking at your website right now.
I haven't touched it in a month or two. Well, the thing about it is, so that's okay. If you're,
Let's start there.
okay, so the website is on my
Yeah.
talking list.
Okay. Okay.
I had that Denzel commission I'd done. A gentleman I work with, Dom, he was like talking me up to his dad, and then he showed his dad the Instagram, and the dad's like, "Oh, it's cool Instagram." Then he showed him my website, and the website solidified it. That was really cool. That
Solidified what?
him hiring me to do the commission.
Denzel.
The Denzel one, yeah. So, and then the thing is too, like since I last did a big upload rehaul, I have a lot more art that I haven't uploaded yet.
Oh, wow.
But I do just gotta post more, and I still got it. I think I changed the prices, but didn't save them. But regardless, I really need to bump up.
Okay, cool, man.
Prices.
Great.
And that also goes to the point of that. I think last I had mentioned too, there was like the $1,000 graphic multiple image thing I had offered to somebody. Is the beer brewery,
Mhm.
the logos, and they're like, we want 5 logos. How much and how long? I told them it'd be like $1,000 because it's 200 per logo. Like,
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah.
and I never heard back from them.
Okay.
Which is fine. And to your point that
Yeah.
you made earlier, like if they have that kind of money, they're gonna hire a professional. Um,
Yeah.
but I'm kind of glad because I didn't want to do it. I think I mentioned that last time too. But like I've been thinking and kind of reflecting since we last spoke too, just about like just doing the jobs or like picking up anything just for the money. And it's like I don't need the money right now. So that's why I've been able to more recently uh do portraits and stuff for people who want it.
Cool.
And it's a lot more fun. Like it's just a lot more rewarding. Not rewarding, but
Yeah.
like it just feels better instead of like, oh.
Yeah. Cool,
Uh,
man. That's great.
so another talking point that I have, speaking of commissions, is that Joey Cabrera Hellboy. Like I have no point on speaking on it because he's such a talented artist. I have nothing but
Come on, man.
respect for him. But like, how close was that though? That was pretty close, right?
I don't, dude.
I was laughing pretty hard when you were like, Hellboy's not even your character. That was funny because you're right.
No, I don't. It's not such a unique pose or thing that you need to worry about it. But this is a non-issue.
It's not an issue. No, and I love him, and he's great. Uh, maybe I'm just tripping, you know?
You are, and you bring this up a few times, like people are biting off you or whatever. But no, like
Okay, okay.
humble yourself. No one's stealing the art, the idea that you had for someone else's character.
And it's flattering too. Like if
Oh my god.
for somebody else's character, you're right? Okay, so another thing is I tried to the other day. I dedicated a good I don't know half hour 45. I downloaded this like Instagram and follow app because I'm following. I think it went from like 1,700 to 1,600 people, and I have about 800 followers. So I was hoping to unfollow a bunch of people. But I
Okay.
found is that it's mostly like other comic book artists and meme pages, but it's
Yeah.
like it's too time consuming to unfollow everybody. So what I want to do is just surpass the amount of people I'm following, which is nice, which is something to shoot for, over time, of course. But I was wondering for
Yeah.
your following experience, was there one significant spike, or did it like just increase as you started attending more conventions?
In me gaining followers?
Yeah.
No, there had been a pretty steady increase from like I don't know what the number was, but once I hit 8,000, that's where things have really, really, really slowed down.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's because I'm doing more and more of my own stuff. And if
Mm,
I drew nothing but Venom, I would get lots of followers right away.
interesting.
What helps me the most with followers, what used to help me was that I was able to reach more people through Instagram's algorithm, the old way,
Mm-hmm.
where it was actually chronological. Like I don't know, it was easier to get followers that way. As they keep tweaking things, it's harder and harder.
Okay.
What helps the most is when fan sites share my artwork. So when MCG underscore Venom
Mm-hmm.
shares my Venom artwork, I always get a chunk of followers.
Interesting.
So if I did nothing but fan art and like tagged Spider-Man accounts and Venom
Right.
accounts, I would probably grow pretty quickly. But that's not. I would rather have people that are actually into my
Style. What you do.
style, but also like I want people that are into Scoldgers and Astropig. That's kind of
Mm-hmm.
or my mentorship series or JP reads.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want people that are into this kind of stuff, not just that I can draw Marvel stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I want instead of going, I used to want more. Gary Vee calls it width versus depth.
Mm.
So I used to want to have like a lot of followers and do fan art, and that's width, like going wide. Now my focus is completely on depth,
Huh.
where the people that are interacting with me, I'm going out of my way to make sure that they know I really truly appreciate them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm spending more time in DMs. I'm also interacting more with the art community. So I'm really going for like depth and quality of interaction versus more interaction with more people. You know what I mean?
Right.
Okay.
I like that a lot, and like you were saying too, like quality over quantity. That's cool. Okay, but I was wondering because you have like a really good
Really?
amount. But I was just wondering what your experience was with gaining as quickly as you did.
I
Or
honestly, if I could do it all over again, actually with Vero, I can do it all over again. Stick with Vero and with Anchor, the podcasting software. or app, I'm able to restart.
Mm-hmm.
So the quality of my connections with people on those two apps so far is pretty good
Okay.
because I'm starting all over. So it's like I'm going for depth right away.
Right.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hold on. Oh, stupid dogs. Um, so I'm seeing that, and then I'm doing the same thing on Instagram, and I'm seeing that there are new connections being formed in a deeper way, and I'm getting that
Mm-hmm.
feedback from people that they're noticing it.
Mm-hmm.
So you have not a huge following yet,
Mm-mm.
but what the changes that you've made so far, you're going to get that depth. And I think that's way more important than having the width.
Mm-hmm.
As far as like, I mean, as far as for me, just my and feeling good about myself as a person, like I feel great knowing that I'm connecting with people.
Right.
And I'm realizing I didn't realize that how important that it was to me. Like 2 months ago, I didn't realize how important that was to me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that's the benefit of it. But also, like there was a guy that I connected with on Vero, and he's been following me on Instagram for a while. But he and I connected in a new way,
Mm-hmm.
and so then I ended up talking to him on the podcast, and we connected in a new way. And then he connected with someone else I talked to on the podcast, and then he ended up buying 2 comics from me, which is not a whole lot of money,
I mean, but still.
but that connection and really focusing on that connection, he ended up buying from me, which is really really nice, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that those connections are extremely important for like a lot of reasons, and one of those is that I do think you'll get commissions and selling prints and whatnot from those connections.
Right. Uh, no, sorry, that was
Did I lose you or?
no, sorry, no, you that was I've noticed also on a side note with the talking if I when I say yeah or interject like say a little something small, it interrupts what you're saying. So I don't know.
Do I cut out though?
It kind of like interrupts the volume. I think it just auto reads it and like quiets you out when I say something. So I just decided want to acknowledge.
Okay.
But but no, that's all. So the comic we're doing the muscle core, we like kind of have an Instagram page, but when we first got it, Jeremy, so it's me, Justin, and Jeremy. Jeremy's the younger brother, Justin's the older, whatever. But Jeremy started the page and he does stand up comedy also, so he followed a bunch of like comedians and stuff. And he followed like
Yeah.
a bunch of people, but as he was following people, I was like, that's probably not the best route because you don't want to.
Yeah.
I mean, but then I told
I
him,
I don't I don't get that. I don't get that personally.
and
Sorry to
then,
interrupt you. I'm sorry.
no, but like the theory is, you follow them, they follow you back, and then you got, um,
Yeah, but that's just all that. I mean, I think all that does is give you a higher count, but these aren't people that actually give a shit.
mm-hmm,
And that's
yeah,
what you want is people that are into your artwork, but also like I think you as a person,
mm-hmm.
and like I see you doing that more and more. And I think I don't know if you've seen already that people are giving you a different reaction, but I think you will see that if you haven't.
Well, that's what I was going to mention that too. Is like it's interesting because a lot I sent you a screenshot or two, but a lot of people like close friends of mine, but they've been very like vocal, like, hey, love what you're doing, keep it up, which is cool. But even like at work the other day too, this one girl was like, oh, I really like the time lapse things you've been doing. And people, a handful of people have told me in person, like, hey, keep up the drawing. Hey, this time lapse is cool, even though it's not like on social media. It's still getting out there, but it's a much more personal um, connection,
Yeah,
So that was
yeah,
cool. I don't know. I do feel like I've noticed a difference. But with the
cool,
muscle,
man, good.
and it feels good too. Like not just like the difference between hey that's well drawn and wow like I admire what you're doing.
Yeah,
I think that's the difference I've been noticing too. But with the muscle core, I told Jeremy I was like don't worry about following as many people as we can. What we need to do is we need to make
yeah,
quality pages. Then people will follow us. Like
absolutely. I think the quality is extremely important, but what is in this space? This isn't like my idea. This is Gary V. Was the $1.80, the
mhm,
$1.80. It's just like be a part of the community.
mhm,
Go out into use hashtag creator owned, and this is something I want to start doing more of. Hashtag creator owned. Look at the top 9 posts and make comments and ask questions that are not just like, "Hey, good job," but like actually insightful and curious. Become a part of the community, and then or answer other people's questions.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's how people will be like, well, what's up with this guy? What's up with musclecore? And they'll go to your website, and you'll get real followers that are actually interested.
Right.
You know?
I think you had said that last time too. Like Scott Williams reached out to you. No,
I don't remember.
Well, yeah,
I think it was the inker. Like, oh yeah, I had like asked a question. I've been doing a lot of that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's really cool. No, it's all good. Do you need to
Can
go?
you hear?
Yeah,
can you hear my dogs?
A little bit, but they're cute. So it's okay.
Can't stand them.
So for the so for the muscle core, so muscle core is the comic that me and my friends are doing. The 32 pages is scripted. It's actually pretty interesting too. So okay, well, so this isn't technically art related, but the last 2 weeks I think I may have mentioned that all right, can I tell you what's going on in like my personal life, unart related?
Yeah.
Okay, it's nothing crazy.
Yes.
Deep, but
okay.
I have a year lease in this apartment that we're currently speaking in, and it's up at the end of this month. But we found black mold in it like 2 weeks ago, and so yeah, it's so the last 2 weeks, like 2 weeks ago, we were in a hotel because they're doing construction, and there hasn't been good communication between the property manager and he's been in business. So because of that, like and with the Denzel post, I kind of mentioned this also too, but just all that stuff's been going on, and then so figuring out it's been difficult to sit down and set up when like we've been moving and going here, my stuff's here, but I'm not. So I think my drawing took a hit the last week or two, but with the Denzel post, I kind of just mentioned like I didn't want to. I mean, it's like a.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Ish.
Yeah, I did a speed test on my internet. It's fucking awful. I don't know why. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, no, it's probably the slowest it's been, unfortunately, since we've talked.
The what?
It's probably the slowest it's been. Like,
oh, I know.
Since we've...
It was doing okay, and then all of a sudden it just like it dropped like a ridiculous amount. I don't know why. I'm so pissed.
Yeah, it was because I hadn't seen it before. But what was happening was you were slowing down and talking and it would just freeze.
Yeah.
It was really strange.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry about all that.
No.
I mean, hopefully the phone call works well too.
Well, the phone calls will be fine, and it just sucks because it's audio only now. But whatever, dude. Like at least we get to talk. You know, we got.
Yeah, because I still had like not too much, but yeah, a few things I wanted to bring up.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead. Okay. You were talking about muscle core, and you had a question about it.
So muscle core. So basically, the question for you was that. So I'm working with my friends, but like. I was wondering what your experience was working with that one gentleman that had colored it. Like, just how, basically, I guess the position I feel like I'm in currently is how do you push somebody else that you're working on a project with to do more, even though it's not phrased very well. But do you kind of get what I'm asking?
Yeah, and
kind of.
I don't know the answer to it. I haven't experienced that. I would think that you guys probably should have talked about who was doing what ahead of time.
Well, so here's the thing: is like we kind of have our roles. We have our roles understood, but like I think it's just a mentality. But when we talked last week too, like we all got together, and I wasn't mean, but like after the last couple of weeks of all that's been going on, I've been listening to a lot of Jordan Peterson too. He talks about agreeable people versus disagreeable people, and how agreeable people don't get as much because they're agreeable. And, you know, they say yes, they don't want to make anybody unhappy. And disagreeable people, they make more, but they're also, like, not liked. But they're more productive because they put the foot down and say, look, this has to get done, you know?
Yeah.
And so I want to get things done, so I feel like I've been trying to be not disagreeable in a negative way, but I basically sat down with the group, all three of us, and I was like, look, guys, like, we missed this deadline, and, like, it's not okay, and, like, we really need to step our game up and, like, start hitting these deadlines, and how are we going to do it? And between the three of them, I told them, I was like, you know, because I got 2 jobs, I'm doing this art mentoring thing, I'm doing my own art, and I'm helping out with this, and I'm doing muscle core, which I like to do, but I basically had like a little call to arms and asked for the other 2, including myself too, to like take this more seriously, just because I didn't want to be the only one. So I didn't know if you had the experience too, like with anybody else.
Not really, dude.
Yeah, but, no, yeah.
Like an art, like
mostly solo projects.
Exactly. I've pretty much given up on working with people because it's not fast enough. Like no one's gonna work at my pace. I'm sure. Well, okay. I'm sorry. People will work if I pay them a significant. Well, actually, that's not true either because I paid that dude a few $100 and he was working slow as shit. So no, I do things by myself now because I hate relying on other people. I don't want to share with anyone else. I don't want anyone having any control over my ideas or what I have control over. I don't want to share control. That's just how I work. So I've given up on the idea of working with other people, and I'm really comfortable with that. And I seem to do better with that.
Yeah. Just because between like having you like give me advice and having these talks every couple weeks, every couple months, like seeing the pace you work at makes me want to work harder and faster and make more things more often. Like just being in that environment, like. And same thing, like just seeing how hard you work makes me want to work hard too. With my other friends too, I love working with them, and we do get things done. But I don't know if they have the same drive that you do, and I don't want to. I'm not going to disconnect myself from them because they're like really good friends. I was just wondering if you know any way to kind of shed that drive onto somebody else, because I feel like you shed it on me unintentionally, but I don't know if you had the experience of like getting an artist, like having them pull themselves up by their own bootstraps and getting out there and. If there's any way to do that.
No, I don't. And it's, I think you're, no, I don't know. But I think you're in a situation with friends. And so you guys kind of moved into this teamwork kind of professional agreement. So it's in this murky, like, middle ground. And that's just, so when I went into the agreement with my friend, and I had paid him, like I was hiring him to color issue 1, right? But before I did that, I knew he had a lot on his plate. I knew even though I paid him, I was paying him really well, $100 per page, like that's a lot. And I was gonna do Kickstarter, but I had fronted him the first few $100 for 3 pages, but I knew I might not be able to rely on him, and I was gambling. So luckily, you haven't put any money into this, right?
No.
You've spent your time on it, right? But so I just knew my friendship was the most important thing, and I was taking a gamble. If I wasted my money, like that really sucked, but that just means I wasted my money, and I was gonna move on. So I knew that ahead of time. I knew I wasn't going to fight him on it or push him because I know him. So maybe you need to take stock of your friendships. You know them way better than I do. Realistically, predict the future. What do you think is going to happen, and is it worth the fight or not?
Okay, yeah, no, that is very helpful. Thank you. I guess I just wanted to talk to you about that most current situation. And I told him too, like, while I was talking to Gianna about it, like, because we just moved out, like, for the first day. We're in a hotel, and they just left, and I was a little not upset, but just a little, not irritated, but like, they took a weekend off, and then they came back, and I was supposed to call on the page, and I was just like, they're taking 4 days off, and I'm taking 4 days off, which is really unhealthy. But then when they came back, like, I sat down, and I told them, like, we all really got to step it up, and since I think we've made good progress. But I guess I just wanted to not even vent about the situation, but just get your take on it too, because it's like, we're going to be friends regardless. But that kind of bleeds into the next talking point I wanted to ask you about too. So I signed up for another convention here in South City, which is nice.
Cool.
I mean, it's cool. It's like a month before the Colossus Con.
Oh wow. Okay.
And it's like and it was like 110 for the table, which is fine. And I told the guys, I was like, ideally, like, I want to make that money back, because even if we don't, that's absolutely fine.
How much was it?
I think if we go into it's 110.
Okay.
For the table.
Whose table?
And then what's up?
Whose table is it?
How big?
Whose table is it? Is it yours or all you guys?
Oh, it's mine. Well, we're gonna share, but I did the application and everything.
Who paid?
The application.
Who paid for it?
We're gonna split it.
Who paid for it?
I paid for it right now. So I put the 110 on my card, and they're going to reimburse me.
With what?
Money.
Why haven't they reimbursed you already?
Well, it's just because we just whatever, we're going at our own pace. Because, and like you had mentioned, it's not about the money.
Dude. No, okay. How long ago did you pay for it?
Well, a couple days ago, within the week. I don't remember which day, but not too long ago.
All right. At this point,
here's the thing, though.
What?
What's up? Okay, so here's the thing: is that this is why I brought up them, and then also this convention, because there are two separate things. But so I sat down and I talked to the group too, and I told Justin, I was like, look, we got to sign up for as many conventions as we can. We're not going to get into all of them, but I'd like to hit maybe like 5 conventions. And he was like, oh, I don't know if we're ready for that yet, yada yada. And I told him, I was like, look, because the thing is, like, I'm signing up for these conventions regardless if they're coming in or not.
Good.
If they were here, that's great. But that's kind of the point too. That's why leading up to the convention, though it is in the future, like I was wondering, that's why I was asking if you had any gems to drop on them. But also we had. What's up? Okay, sorry. What were you gonna say? Because I'm doing this regardless. I would like for them to be there, but like.
I think that's the right. I think that's the right attitude. All I can do is like just speak for myself and how I would handle it. So if I was in this situation, my mindset is I paid for that table. It's my table. If they want to join me, and rent part of my table, they have to pay me. Otherwise, it's my table. It's my space. Period. You know what I mean?
No, for sure. I think that's kind of how I'm going. But yeah.
And it's not like you're being a dick. It's just like you've paid for it. It is your table. I think it's. I mean, I don't know them whatsoever, but it sounds like you're a little bit more driven and focused and have a clear goal in mind. I don't know if it's as important to them, and so if that was me, I wouldn't be able. Like I couldn't deal with that. Like I'm not as, I don't know, it's like in my mind I'm like, okay, I'm 37 years old now. I'm not gonna wait around for 2 other people to get their shit together so I can complete something. So like if they can't keep up, meep, I'm moving on.
For sure, and okay, I think you're in the right side, because that's when we had the meeting too, like, and that's why before, because in the past it just kind of be like, oh, we missed it, this sucks, what are we gonna do? But that's why I was a little bit more adamant last time we spoken too, just because it's like.
The other thing you can do is this is a project. So this is me, all right. If I was you, if I was in this situation, it'd be like, okay, this is the situation I'm in. I'm relying on 2 other people, which I hate. But it is what it is. I'll work at their pace. In the meantime, I'm going to be working on my own thing just for me. And most of my time will go into there. And as they give me pages to ink or color or whatever, I'll work at their pace. But I'm really going to be driving hard on my own thing as well.
And see, I think that's kind of exactly where I'm at right now. That's what I'm trying to get shifted more into, because that's what I was telling Jerry and Justin. Like I have the 2 jobs, but like I'm trying to do a bunch of my own artwork too. Yeah. And all I do is ink and like do the highlights, which I don't mind. But we have like these weekly meetings, and like when we have the meetings, like I'll sit down and nothing gets done. No, I'm sorry, and I feel bad because the worst comes out whenever I talk about it. But I'm the one that sits down and I'll take out a piece of paper, read back and find them, and say, okay, what are we getting done this meeting? And we'll write everything down that we want to get done. I'll say, okay, let's prioritize it. How much time do we have? And I feel like if I'm not doing that, then these meetings aren't productive. And the thing is, so when we sat down last time too, I told him, I was like, look, like we all need to step our game up. And I said, my end goal is like, I want to do this full time. Like I'd like to do these conventions and start maybe breaking even, and then maybe start making a profit, and then maybe start dropping hours. And ideally, like, this would be cool to do art full time. Like that's my end goal. And I asked them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's what I want to do." But I told them, I was like, "Well, you have to dedicate, like, at least, okay." So that's so I told them this.
What? So I want for your mindset, okay? Just for clarification for you, when people say that's what I want to do, I think what I hear them say is I would like it if this happened. So I would like it if Marvel hired me. If I want them to hire me, I would apply to Marvel. You know what I mean? I would work toward working at Marvel.
Damn.
So it sounds to me like they would.
Can you say that again? Sorry, I want to write that down. It's super deep.
It's recorded, so you'll just watch it on the video.
Even better. Okay, sorry.
But that's the way I look at it, dude. And I'm hearing that you're at the point where you know what you want and you're putting the work in. It sounds like they might be at the point where they would like this to happen to them, but they're not willing to hustle and make it happen.
Yeah, well, okay, so but you don't have any, like, secret pill or, like, any music video they could watch to make them think the way I think.
Do they watch Gary Vee at all?
No, well, I got my boy Justin Jim Ron, who's that old guy that talks. I like him a lot. But yeah, not necessarily Gary Vee, but those same kind of talkers, but not him specific. But it's the same mindset where it's like, if you want it, like, I was telling my other friend D, I sat with her because she was like, oh, we should do a logo. What I've been doing more recently now, too, is just, like, consultations where somebody will say, hey, I want this design. And I'll sit down with them and say, okay, here's what I can do. Here's what I will charge. But most of the time, like, the few times I've done it, they don't even really need me. Like, the website guy, he was like, oh, I kind of want a website. And I was like, I can't be your full-time designer, but here's what you should do. So I've been doing these consultations with people, too, just so they can figure out what they need visually. Like, if it's a quick project, you know, I can pick it up. But I'll do these consultations just because I kind of have a better, I think I was saying that I have a better feel for, like, what I can get done.
Well, yeah, but I agree. I mean, it sounds like that is true, but you've been through a different process. I don't know what these people have been through, but, like, you have sought out a mentor. You sought out to pick my brain. You sat with me at my tables a lot. You know, you heard me out. You let me challenge you. You were open to change. So you were open to the change, and you've been putting the work in for the most part. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's where you're at. I don't think it's realistic to expect other people. So you're asking me how to change them. The answer is you can't. You don't have control over them. What you do have control over is how you spend your time. So you can spend your time waiting around for them, or get going on what you know you need to do for yourself.
Well, I'm sorry. I just remembered the point I was trying to make is I met with my friend, consultated with her. I just talked to her about this website she wants to do, and I was telling her, like, she had all these cool ideas that she wanted to draw, but she also likes to write, but she likes photography, and she kind of wants to start a travel blog, do a little bit of everything. And I said, no matter what you do, like, you have to want it, because a lot of people sit around and say, you know, oh, that'd be cool if, or, you know, that'd be nice if. But it's different because you have to really be intentional going after it, and you have to put in a lot of hours and a lot of work.
I know.
Going after it, but a lot of people kind of sit back and hope it happens to them.
Okay, but we're talking about you, not other people. So what are you going to do about it? Because this is your situation. I gave you a couple options. You can't control them. That's out of your control. So focus on the things you do control. What are you going to do about it?
Well, so that was a part two of So part one was the friend situation. Part two was the convention, and then sub part two is I want to start making prints. I know we talked about this last time.
Dude, hold God, Brendon. One thing at a time. What are you going to do about the muscle core?
Oh, the muscle core? I'm just going to, so we have Sunday meetings, and then probably once a week. I see Justin at my other job, too. So I'm just going to dedicate to inking and coloring. And then I'll probably just maybe talk to them and let them know, like, pull back a little bit.
Let them know that you're pulling back?
Yeah. I mean, would that be a good idea?
What? But are you pulling back, or are you just moving at their pace? That's not pulling. If you're just moving at their pace, that's not pulling back.
I guess that's a good point. Yeah, I'm just moving at their pace.
Like, it's where you're at is, hey, I'm ready. Whenever you guys give me my part of it, I'm ready to roll. Otherwise, like, that's all they need to know.
Okay. Okay.
If they want to get it done, they'll step it up. If they don't care, then all right, now you know, and you move on. You know. So that's. Go ahead.
But it hurts because I want to see them do well.
You want them to do well?
Yes, and I want all of us to do well, but I want them to do well too. But it's kind of like, you know,
but
taking a horse to the water.
Well, I know, but so I know you. Of course, you want them and all of us to do well, but you don't. All you do is control if you do well or not. So just focus on that. You know, that's it.
All right.
So you're not being a dick. You're not bossing them around. Just your attitude is just like, I'm ready to roll. Whenever you guys throw the pages at me or whatever, and that's it. And then on your own time, in between pages or whatever. Honestly, I think you should put that's. I don't know why that's your priority in the first place. Your priority should be the other stuff you were talking about, like prints and prepping for the conventions. So, all right. So you know what to do for the friend situation. What do you want to talk about next?
Well, that was the second part.
Yeah.
But I would like to, with you, make a list and an approach. Because, and it's the only other thing I wanted to just ask you about is, and maybe you could actually sprinkle this in with the prints, but like, the minor part I want to ask you about is what I could do to improve what I've been doing. Because I actually really like the watercolor 5x7, 9x12 format that I have right now.
Hold on. So you want to know how you can improve your style or your results?
Well, I mean, yeah, just minor changes, no big harm.
Right.
I think just the more I do it, the better.
So look, when
but then also,
all right, when's I'm sorry, I'm like really focused. I'm like solution mode here. When's your next convention?
the 28th of June, July 28th.
That's the South City one.
Oh no, June 26th, 27th. I did the application. I haven't looked back yet, but that's South City. June was the South City, then July is Colossus Con.
So June, July. I'm glad you signed up for both those, man. So that means you have 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we've been through this before, Brendon.
Right, and that's why. Mm-hmm.
All right, we've been through this before. I want you to take. You told me that your goal in life is to do conventions and even at some point travel, right?
Yes.
So if this is your goal, I want you to start taking it really seriously tonight, dude. For real. Like, can you do that or what?
Yes.
Okay.
And I will show you through my actions.
Cool. I'm gonna bring up your little document here, see if it'll help me out. But
Okay.
like this needs. So if that's your end goal is to make money through conventions and do conventions and make connections, blah blah blah. So do the convention thing. So that needs to be your priority now, because 3 months in prepping for a convention is a decent amount of time, but you're gonna need it because it's your first one. Okay.
Right.
So you don't have the backdrop. Do you have my tablecloth I gave you? Did I give you that?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, and the magnets and the
Cool.
stands.
And the what? Stands?
Yeah, the cubes.
Oh, good. Okay, so you have that. Wow, you have a chunk already, but you might want to get
the art.
yeah, you might want to get a backdrop, or merchandise, or whatever. I mean, I don't know what you're going to aim for, but you need to start that process now.
Okay.
3 months is going to go by really fast. Okay, and
Right.
you have a lot going on, so you really need to prioritize this right away. Okay.
Okay.
I don't want you to fail this time. I don't want you to blow it off.
No. Yeah, no,
Okay.
especially after last time.
Yes. All right.
Okay.
So
I think, so for me, I'm sorry, you were saying?
no, go ahead.
When I was compartmentalizing it, I think the first thing I would like to approach in going into the convention is prints. Like, I
Yes.
want to do prints.
Well, okay. So what would you like to have at the conventions?
I would like, well, I have those Inktober's, but I would like, I've been doing those 5x7s too. So I would like you would have some mini prints for, a few bucks, but then a few finished 9x12s or even 11x17s in a portfolio of original artworks, also scanned as bigger print.
Okay.
That's what I'd like to sell. I mean, the stickers and stuff like that'd be cool, but I'll see how far I get.
Are you able to invest the money in printing that stuff out?
I believe so. What am I looking at? 200-300?
Well, you know what? You might, because you have nothing right now. So.
Exactly.
Well, no, I mean, because
Good paper, too.
you're not gonna roll in there with like 20 of each, like I would. You're gonna roll in there with a few of each. So I don't know. It might not be. I mean, it just. I don't think it'll be 200-300 for prints.
Well, 200-300 is what because if I'd like to get a backdrop also, that's what
Oh,
my
yeah,
budget
that-
would be going into it.
Yeah. Well, the backdrop you don't need, because you have all this. You have the cubes, and that's a huge setup. So the backdrop isn't a huge, big issue. And if you did want to do a cheap backdrop, there are options like out of PVC pipe and a curtain. You can hang stuff up. So you don't have to like have something printed out. You don't have to. It's more professional. It looks nice, but you're definitely not like. There's lots of options for that kind of stuff. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So there's ways to have it be effective and professional, but without spending a ton of money. So the priority needs to be having stuff to sell, obviously, right? if I was you, and we've kind of brainstormed about this in our past talks, which you can reference, but I think it feels like to me the drawing as much as you possibly can is a good idea to have originals to sell, and then from those originals pick like your 3 to 5 best ones, and then like really strong ones that are ready to roll as prints or that you can scan in color. But like just like draw, and then step back, look at what you have, pick the best ones, and kind of because the conventions you sign up for aren't big conventions, right?
No.
Yeah, so I think you don't need to have a lot of prints because the small conventions can get kind of brutal.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I'm thinking. I don't know. What do you think, dude?
No, I think that's perfect too, because I think for finishing the prints, I think what's most labor intensive for me personally is the digital coloring. But like you're saying, if I draw and ink and finish a handful, then I can have those, but then pick like you're saying, 3, 4, 5 that are worth taking that final step. You know?
Yeah, and you can even like you might have like a real gold mine in there. You know, it only takes one to click with people. Like my TMNT symbiotes, that was like it clicked with everybody. You know, like you saw.
Right.
So if I was, if I had thought more ahead of time, or if I had known that it was going to be a big one or whatever, I could have printed that on like magnets, stickers earlier on, buttons. Like I could have made that into merchandise. So if you out of the 3 to 5 you pick, if you think you have a real strong one in there, you can invest in like a couple of magnets and see how they sell, or buttons or stickers or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So
okay.
you can do the original, have the originals there. If I was you, I would definitely do mini prints. I think that's a safe way for people to buy from you without splurging, without you also investing too much that you're worried about. Show me what you pick, and if I think one will work as a big print, I'll let you know. But that's definitely a little bit more of an investment. Not a whole lot. I mean, it's not that bad, dude. Yeah, I think mini prints to medium,
well, those 5x7s
maybe
have been a lot of fun to do and pretty easy to, not easy, but like I said, with the watercolor and the 5x7, like it's a really, really good size to work at.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that sounds great.
I think those original like 5x7.
I think your watercolor stuff's pretty interesting, actually, and those as originals, especially if you frame them. You remember we talked to that dude.
Oh yeah.
If you get those IKEA frames that he had done, like that might really dress it up real nice, and go that extra step. So people buying an original watercolor in a frame, that could be pretty alluring, and then to have a few prints of that original, that might be something exciting.
Business cards. I think I'm just going to use that lady with the bow tie and the roses in her mouth, just like for the business cards.
See,
and just like as
dude.
the logo. No, because I know it's old, but it's like. I could.
Dude,
what's up?
If your attitude is, I'm just going to use this one, it's not a strong, like your business card. People, that makes a difference. Like people remember that, You have to put.
I'm trying to think of like.
I think you have to put your best foot forward. So find a strong sketch or whatever and make it into a business card. But don't just do like, I'll do whatever. I'll do this one just because like think about it,
Okay, that's good. But business cards I definitely would like business cards.
Well, it's an option. So when we had brainstormed about this in a previous talk, traditional business cards are an option. But we had also, what was our other idea that you would do like hand-drawn little doodles on the back or something like that?
That would be cool too, actually.
Or you could even, so just like a hand-drawn, doodle on the back of a business card, with like just your website on the other side of it or something like that. Something really, clean and classy looking. We look back into our other talks. We had talked about some really cool ideas for that.
Yeah.
You don't have to go the traditional route to make it to work.
Okay. It's just the same thing, just something to think about. Okay. And I think what we discussed also last time too, as far as the print idea goes, which I think is really helpful, which I've been kind of focusing on more recently, is that is doing things that I enjoy instead of doing what sells or like what's hot now.
Yes. Definitely.
So actually on my phone, I've been like just writing down a list of all these things that, all the creative things I'd like to draw.
Cool.
Yeah, so I have a good idea, but I don't know. The more you've been talking about it, the more you said like 3 months is very much put a lot of gravity behind it.
What do you mean a lot of gravity? Oh, behind what you're drawing?
Like just time wise, it's just it's easy to be like, oh, it's later.
Is muscle core? Do you plan on selling that at the convention?
I'm sorry.
Muscle core. Do you plan on selling that? Do you guys plan on having it done?
The comic?
Yeah.
Dude, well, that's the thing, too. That's why. So we had 32, and I told him, I'm like, we need to cut it off at 16. Like, we're not going to get 32 done.
32 is a lot.
Cut off point. Huh?
That's a big book. 32 is standard comics are like
it's
20 or 20 pages.
Well, they want to do the way they approached it. Jeremy's the guy that writes it, and he made a very good point, and I understand why he wants to do 32. But I told him, I was like, we need a cutoff point if we're going to get this done in any kind of time. And the idea was to sell it, but now that I'm not going to be able to invest as much time into it, it's kind of more on those two, and I hope they can get it done. I hope we can get it done. But I just, the more I'm talking to you about it too, I really do feel like I don't want my art time to suffer because I'm trying to pull them. Like, I'd like to, have these prints done.
Yeah, that really should be your priority, especially because the muscle core is an unknown right now, and like you can't work off unknowns. You gotta be moving.
Yeah. No. Okay. You're okay. But yeah, I'm not abandoning the project, but I should prioritize my own stuff.
Absolutely.
More so now.
Definitely.
Okay. So the prints, mini prints. And yeah, the mini prints are actually pretty easy to do too.
Yeah.
5x7 mini prints, 11x12 original. Yeah, so that's kind of what I want. I'm scribbling this down too as I'm talking. 9x12 or 11x17, just larger prints. Digitally color a few of them, because the coloring, like, I think the coloring is what makes it look the most finished and complete, because watercolors are nice too, but watercolors are a lot quicker, but the digital, like, you can get so much more depth with it.
Yeah.
But that definitely, like, takes up, like, a few sessions, but whatever. So,
it's more time.
I'm sorry?
It's more time, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if I'd be able to, like, color all of them, but like you're saying, 3 or 4.
Well, you'd only color the ones that need to be colored. If they look fine, look fine, black and white, or in pencil, then that's fine.
Okay.
Or if they look good, like if they look strong, not just fine, but if you feel like this is a strong piece, the way it is, then leave it the way it is.
Okay, I like that.
So hey, if since you're working small on 5x7. If you blow it up to 11x17, it's going to lose quality. It doesn't work that way.
Well, that's what I'm saying too. Like the mini prints, I think drawing that small is better for me, just because then it limits me. So I don't. So I do them quicker.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, but you were talking about making them into 11x17s.
Oh no, I'm saying for my large prints, I'll either do them at 9x12 or 11x17.
But the original has to be that big. You can't do the original small and then blow it up in the print.
No. But if I do the 9x12 or 11x17, I can shrink those. So like I want big and small prints, but my big prints, I don't know if they're going to be 9x12 or 11x17.
I didn't catch what you said. Say it again.
Sorry. So I'm going to have the mini prints, and those are going to be 5x7 or shrunk, and then I'm going to have big prints, like regular size prints. And those are going to be either 9x12 or 11x17.
You mean the original is going to be bigger?
Yeah.
And so you'll make prints that are the bigger size. Yeah, that's fine. You just
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm not doing everything mini print. I'm doing some of my mini prints on the small paper, but then like my regular prints on the either.
Okay. As long as you're not enlarging a small if you.
No.
Okay, fine. You get it. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So 3 months. I'd like these done in 2 months. Which is 8 weeks.
Yeah. Yep.
And it gives me a month to panic and buy a bunch of shit I don't need, and So 8 weeks. How many prints is that a week?
I think what your priority should be right now is to draw as much as you can. Like
Okay,
it's basically like, just go crazy. Like just draw, have fun, draw. Okay, like.
Well, so last.
Uh huh.
No, I do like. I think 2 last mini points. Unless there's something else you'd like to say too, feel free to interject at any point.
Okay.
But I was going to mention too that I think you've been doing it too. But the advice you gave me last time about practicing the fundamentals, I just want to let you know that I've been doing that still. And it's actually really helpful. I found is I've been doing like a lot of like skeleton skulls, and it's super helpful just to like build the figure up to make it more realistic.
Cool. Great.
Or, just knowing the foundation.
I saw you were doing that. That's really impressive that you're doing that. I haven't even done that stuff.
Well, I mean, but it makes sense. It's like practicing circles and squares, but then it's like once you understand the skeleton and how it moves,
Yeah.
So that's been really helpful too. But I appreciate the suggestions being fundamental. So I've been doing that, but then also, too. So with the, are there any? Well, maybe if you want to text me another time to take a look at it. But if there's any advice to make the pieces stronger, let me know. Because the watercolors, I've still got room to grow.
Why don't you draw as much as you can for like the next 2 to 4 weeks, and then look at what you've done and pick out a few and send them to me through text or whatever, and I'll let you know what I think if you want. Okay.
I like that. Okay, that's good.
But you really gotta like attack it though, okay? Like every day, every day, I would like to see you do at least a 30-minute drawing, and then just get those 30-minute ones together, and then decide, this one might be worth going into more.
30 minutes. That's good.
Like that's 30 minutes a day. That's doable, right?
No, I do that already, but that's usually my 30 minutes is like my warm-up practice drawings. But I can put that on pause.
What the hell? What are you warming up for?
Just for fun. But I should be like that. What I did today was just because I want to draw every day, and sometimes I only have a half hour, so I'll either practice the fundamentals and then go on to a big project. But I always try to draw for at least half hour a day, like whether it's practice or for fun. But I think it's just better to thumbnail, because like I said, I do have a list on my phone of like these would be cool for prints. Like I have Law and Order. I don't know if you watch Law and Order, but it's my favorite TV show.
Well, if it speaks to you and you're gonna have fun with it, like go, dude. Like sure. I have no idea who. That seems like a very very niche kind of thing. But like if it's your thing, dude, go with it. Yeah, people that are into Law and Order will find you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'd rather have somebody be like, oh fuck, like that's Sam Waterston, and have them be gassed off that. And then a few other niche things, but things I would enjoy. So I do have a list, but I do like that. So I think I'll try to just knock out as many ideas as I can, and then I'll send in a couple weeks from now. I'll keep you posted on how the progress is going. Okay, I really appreciate that. Thank you, man.
Sure. What else did you have for me?
That was it. Just how can I improve? And
I wanted to ask you. Okay, so I was really worried about the convention thing, but it looks like you know what you're doing. The website. I'm sad to see you haven't followed through with that.
I'm sorry about that.
Don't apologize to me. Well, that's fine. But yeah, I was disappointed. But I do see. But honestly, I see you doing it on Instagram though. Like I see you're kind of like you're journaling on Instagram, which I think was really really cool. And if that's where you're gonna, I like to see you doing some kind of personal reflection. So I'll give you kudos on the Instagram.
Thank you.
And I think at this point right now, that's where you're engaging people more rather than your website. So that makes sense. So as long as you're doing something personal, I think you're golden. So you're fine, dude.
Okay.
And then, so I have this question though. You're doing these watercolors and they're looking pretty nice, and it looks like you're growing there. But then I see you do the brush pen over it. Why are you doing that?
You don't like the brush pen?
I'm not impressed by it.
But
I don't, because like the Denzel piece you did when it was just the watercolor, it was convincing. The values were nice, like it was a nice solid piece.
Right.
And I'm not saying that you're doing a bad job with the inking. I just don't know how it's helping. Like how is it enhancing what I'm looking at?
Interesting.
That's what I'm wondering.
Okay, the Denzel, I was unhappy with some of the things I had done. But the inking for me is nice just because I mean, it's just basically like the watercolor is tough because it's really kind of difficult. I mean, I don't know if you noticed, but watercolors come out pretty light. The ink really helps separate all the values. If you go with something like gouache or like even the acrylics, like those you can get harder values and edges, but watercolor is a lot more difficult to get like very, very saturated colors that pop. Everything always looks kind of light. And so my idea is the color is kind of light under it, and then the ink really separates all the lines.
Okay. I get the rationale. I don't know if you're pulling it off, honestly, quite yet.
Okay.
That's fine. Yeah, I'm looking at the Denzel right now before it was inked. It's nice. It's got plenty of depth to it. I don't what the fuck are you talking about, dude?
It's still really because but I would like more depth. I like those darks to be darker, and
I see what you're saying when. So I'm looking at post inked, and it doesn't exactly hurt it. Like I'm not saying that, but at the same time, I don't know. It just doesn't seem necessary. Like I don't know if it's really enhancing it. I don't know that. Why?
I think I appreciate it. Thank you. But like the way it just for me the pen really separates. Paulo Rivera. A few other people do it too. Tess Fowler. They'll do inks over the watercolors.
Sure.
Like I said, it's the same as like Copics essentially.
I get that.
Not Copics, I guess.
No, I get that. Yeah, I'm looking at what is this? This is Cube Boy.
Cube Boy. Yeah, but you see how like it reads, but I think the inks really finish it. And the thing about the inks too is that brush pen, it's not water soluble. So if I brush over, then the ink leaves. So I have to do the colors first.
I get the concept. I think I'm not totally sold on your. And you're still practicing. I'm not sold on your brush work yet. Okay.
So if I improved it, that would be better.
I think you like. I get the idea. I think I get what you're going after, and I could absolutely see that working. Plenty of people do it. You're not quite there yet, which is fine. Like you're practicing. Oh, there you go. You used the non-brush pen. I'm looking at the video of the Cube Boy. So
you think just brush pen straight up? You're thinking like mechanicals would be better for me?
I'm wondering why you insist on using the brush pen, because you have the ones that I sent you, right?
I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, I got them all. Yeah, and they're very helpful. Yeah.
So, and thanks for buying those. I'm glad you got them super cheap. I didn't want to just throw them away, so I'm glad you're willing to spend a little bit on it.
They're the chiseled and the sepia. Yeah, they're very helpful.
So, like why not? Why do you insist on using the brush pen?
Because the brush pen gives the lines a lot more.
Yeah, you know what? Like I'm sorry.
Variation.
Like you inked over this kid's eyes, and it doesn't help it. Like it doesn't need to be. You inked the lines in his eye.
The pupil. Oh yeah. Well, Olivia Copiel did that, and it looked really good. So.
Yeah, you didn't pull it off.
But I tried it, and that's what's important.
Absolutely, I agree. So you're experimenting, so that's fantastic, dude. I would ask you to experiment with thinner lines. I don't know, like you're not. It feels like a little bit too heavy-handed to me when you use the brush because it goes on really thick, and even I have a hard time controlling it. You know, so that's why I feel more comfortable with thinner lines. I start thin and I'll go thick. You know,
and then yeah.
So I would like to see because the watercolors. When you do it, it's almost done. Like you're not a master or anything. And I'm not a master or anything, but like it's almost there. It's like it's good. It's solid. So you don't need if you're gonna ink it. I don't think you need much. But then you go on with this heavy line brush, because you just don't have the control yet. So and then it's too much. So try and do it either thinner or start off with like a thin line. I'd be really curious how that looks.
Okay.
All right.
No, thank you. That's what I was wondering too. Was like how can I improve it? Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I was looking for.
All right.
Thank you. Is there anything else you wanted to?
No, the convention, the pen, and the website. Those were the things that I wanted to address with you. Maybe we should just start doing this over the phone, dude.
This is I wouldn't be opposed to that. It's a lot easier. When speaking of the next meeting too, I gotta double check. But I would if the April 6th or 8th, 6th through 8th, I think that's because that is next to Silicon Valley Comic Con, which is when we first kind of met, a year ago.
That was, yeah, you joined me. We met before Silicon Valley Comic Con, right?
Well, we met before, but that was the first time you have to sit at the table. But I think that'd be an interesting year point to reflect.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's a month from now too.
Okay. Do you feel like you want to check in with me in 4 weeks then?
Yeah, and then Cindy, honestly, especially after tonight, maybe a phone call would just be easier. I can text you a week or before after or so.
That's fine.
Do it over the phone.
That's fine. If I upgrade my Comcast internet connection, I'll try it again. I have no idea why it's so bad.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
No, it's not all good.
If you're okay with that date too, well, I mean,
not for me. Yeah, well, so April 6th, is that a weekend?
I believe so. I have to double check, but I'm pretty sure that's when the convention is, and it's Friday, Sunday.
Let me check right now. April 6th is Friday. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Okay, so the Friday or the Saturday. Phone caller, video stuff. But yeah, if you're cool with that, then I think we're good to go.
I put BDawg on my calendar right now. I uploaded the last 2 episodes, or the previous 2 episodes, so we're up to 5 on my YouTube channel right now.
Yeah, I know, and some of my friends have been hitting me up too saying they listen to it. It makes me really happy.
Oh, cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, I think I think that one, my friend Julie was like, don't be so shy.
Oh, yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah. You were at first, but I feel like you've gotten used to, I don't know, me or whatever it is, but yeah, you were definitely kind of insecure at first.
Yeah.
What do you, am I wrong, or what do you think?
I don't know. I always feel like maybe the energy's been bumped up a little, but I never felt like I had that issue.
You seem more confident, dude.
Yeah, well, thank you.
It's
probably just, from doing it and trying more.
I think you've grown a lot. I think you've grown a lot as a young man.
Oh, thank you. I know I think that's the biggest compliment I've been getting recently. I was talking to my friend Joe, because a lot of people were like, "Man, I've seen a lot of growth."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Cool." And then somebody said that, "Oh, your art's gotten so much better." I'm like, "Was it fucking bad before? What are you trying to say?" But a lot of people have said they've been noticing growth, which is good.
Yeah.
What I'm going for.
You have grown a lot, I think, in artistically, and I love seeing that you're experimenting and you're really driven. I can tell. But in your confidence, you seem like you're a lot better off, dude.
I'm getting there. I mean, it's ebbs and flows where it's still when you compare yourself to another artist, it's just
oh yeah.
Bother.
Yeah, we all do that. So
exactly, but
so maybe at the 1 year mark, we can reflect on these things and talk more about it.
Yeah. I think that'd be cool.
All right, dude. I like it.
Well, it's been very helpful talk. I appreciate it as always, man. Thank you.
All right, cool, man. Bye.
All right, take it easy, man. Bye.
All right.